You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. If you were in Tiger Stadium Saturday for the open practice, the spring scrimmage, call it what you want, you will know exactly what I'm about to tell you. But judging by attendance, you weren't there, which is fine. It's a Saturday morning practice in Tiger Stadium. That's why we're there, to tell you what happened. LSU ran a goal line offense, period. Goal line offense, goal line defense. 11 on 11, full contact, full tackle, 6 plays with the first unit. In the fourth play that they ran, by the way, the first 3 were all touchdowns. Garrett Nussmeier, quarterback draw for a touchdown. Caleb Jackson, dive for a touchdown. Garrett Nussmeier rolling right, throws underneath. Caleb Jackson was dragging across the field for a touchdown. Joe Sloan was in his bag, y'all. But the fourth play is the one that got all the attention. The fourth play was the type of play you don't ever see when the media is around and certainly when there's fans in the stands. Jawan Johnson's on the field. Garrett Nussmeier flexes out. Jawan Johnson lines up at quarterback. The C's part. He calls his own number on the left side and gets into the end zone. Brian Kelly, after the practice, was asked about Jawan Johnson and the role that he might play this season at quarterback.
Yeah, we think we do. I mean, we think that we enhance our red zone package with him. I think you saw a glimpse of that a little bit today. I didn't let you film that purposely. You guys had a hard 11:30 stop for a reason. But I think he enhances what we can do in the red zone. I think he enhances what we can do, at that position in the running game. It's hard. We saw that last year, right, against teams that ran the quarterback against us. You got to play cover zero. And if you play cover zero against us, Jawan can hit our receivers with the football. So I just think, he's another weapon that we can utilize in a targeted fashion that can help our offense.
A couple things there that absolutely should stand out. First of all, he talked about it's hard when you got a rushing quarterback. Look at the way they rushed against us last year is the way he said it. Everyone's going to remember Jalen Milroe. Don't forget Lenora Sellers in the first half as well. That game against South Carolina before he got injured. Yeah, LSU struggled to defend running quarterbacks. And almost improbably, they did a brilliant job against Taylon Green at Arkansas and then threw up on themselves in College Station. You were there. You remember it. You saw it. Point is, what if you can harness some of that with Jawan Johnson, who is an undeniable athlete with the football in his hands? Nobody in the history of Louisiana high school football has gained more yards or scored more touchdowns than Jawan Johnson. Mouthful. Big time yo. Okay. Remember, also, you were dead last in the SEC in rushing offense a year ago. That's with an offensive line that includes a dude that might be the first offensive lineman taken, another 3-year starter that's probably going to be a second-round pick, and another in Miles Frazier, who is on a list today at ESPN.com as one of the sleepers of the draft, and they're likely targeting him as a third-round pick. Oh, and you also had Garrett Dellinger, who was your highest-rated run-blocking offensive lineman on the season. That offensive line struggled to run block. You lose 4 starters. There's going to be a giant question about your ability to run the football this year behind a makeshift or new offensive line. I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying it's fair to ask the question if you'll be able to. And if you're intentional about being better, in what ways can you be better? Oh, I got an idea. How about you put the very natural, gifted runner in packages at quarterback, especially in the red zone, where you were bad last year in the red zone. Maybe you find a way to give him a different look. That's one thing. Oh, yeah, he'll help your running game. A running game that was dead last in the SEC last year, you had another wrinkle? Yep, like it. Number 2, you heard Brian Kelly talk about if teams play cover zero against us, Jawan can hit our receivers. He was talking about throwing the football. Cover 0, if you're not familiar, means there's no safety. So if you're cover 1, 1 safety. Cover 2, 2 safeties. Cover 0 means the safeties come down in the box. There's no deep safety on the field, meaning your defensive backs are in man coverage. And I don't know if you've listened to me or anybody who has put eyes on this football team in spring. LSU got lots of receivers, y'all. Lots of them. I mean, you return Chris Hilton and Aaron Anderson and Xavier Thomas, and you throw a freak show like Trey'Dez Green out there, and you added Bauer Sharp, and oh, by the way, you added Nick Anderson, who averaged like 20 yards a catch 2 years ago at Oklahoma before he got hurt. You had Berry and Brown as the fastest player in college football. Yeah, go guard all our guys' man coverage. My guess is one of our guys is going to win their one-on-one. That's probably how that's going to go, and if you do, Jawan can hit him. That's Brian Kelly saying, we ain't afraid to let that kid throw the football. Because he threw for 10,000 yards in his high school career. Pretty comfortable throwing the football, especially to freak show receivers who are wide open down the field. Okay. He also joked, we had a hard 11:30 stop on letting you film it. That's true. We're in the press box, and the graduate or the student SIDs are walking by going, all right, guys, no cameras this period, no cameras. Like they would not let us film that. If this was a different day and age, like last year, that spring game's on TV, they don't run that play. They're not practicing that package. Brian Kelly rolled it out there, though, because there was no cameras rolling. We saw it, and he talked about it, and that's in the arsenal. I bet you they're going to use it. You don't bring in a guy like Jawan Johnson and just waste him for 4 years. And they've wasted him for 2, trying to figure out where he fits. Is he a safety? Is he a cornerback? Is he the star position? Is he a running back? Now he's back at quarterback. You got to find a home and let a guy like that impact the game in some way. And maybe this is the way, this package, whatever he'll have, that quarterback, is how he will impact the game. And I think we will actually see that. Like, I don't think that's a bluff. I think we will see Jawan Johnson run that package in games effectively for LSU. The other thing Brian Kelly also mentioned, remember, Caden Durham was out with an injury, ankle injury, not thought to be serious. So Caleb Jackson took all the reps with the ones, meaning Harlem Berry, 5-star freshman, early enrollee, number 1 running back in the country, took the reps with the 2s. And Brian Kelly was asked if Harlem Berry could end up being legitimately the number 2 running back on this team behind Caleb Jackson.
He's a natural runner of the football. He sees things that you just don't coach. And, the great backs just have that natural, uncanny ability to see things on the move. And, you just let it go. He's got to be coached on protections. He's got to be coached on scheme. He's got to be coached on how to eat. He's got to be coached on some other things. And we're doing it. And he's very receptive to that. I didn't mean to imply other, but he's really good. And I think he lives up to the billing of the best running back in the country because of his just natural instincts that he has as a running back.
When they went in the full scrimmage, I said Caleb Jackson, by the way, as number 2. Caleb Jackson is the number 2 behind Caden Durham. When they went to the full scrimmage period, I charted play-by-play of the first team, but I just had notes when the 2s went out there. Harlem Berry was running a stretch play to the right side, and forgive me, I had binoculars but didn't get the number of the linebacker. Juked a linebacker out of his cleats and had a 23-yard gain on a run around right end. That is a dude who is ready. I'm not telling you he's going to have 20 carries a game. I'm not telling you he's supplanting Caden Durham. What I'm telling you is he will play. At the end of that cut, which they cut off, is there's a question like, so do you think he'd be RB2? And he said, and Brian Kelly says, he will play for us as a freshman. Those are 2 guys right there that when we get busy talking about all the different impact players offensively, Nussmeier and Trey'Dez and Bauer Sharp and Aaron Anderson and Nick Anderson and Berry and Brown and Xavier. Look, there was another really cool formation where Nuss was in the shotgun. Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas lined up offset in the shotgun, one either side Nuss. Anderson went right. Thomas went left, took the handoff, went around left end. Like, they're going to be creative, clearly, in the way that they use all of the talent they have on offense. But we have not spent enough time talking about Jawan Johnson and Harlem Berry because I think their roles are going to be small and situational. But I think their small situational roles are going to be impactful leverage spots for LSU on offense. Don't lose sight of those two guys. A couple of secret weapons LSU's got cooking up right now, and Joe Sloan's in his bag, figuring out ways to use all the talent he's got. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.